Howdy folks, Sjporr here, sitting in the office at Little Face Brewing. And y'all get to see everything when you come to my channel. You get to see the bar, you get to see the garage, workshop, you get to see the brewery, you get to see the yard. It's what you call all-around entertainment. So, what we're going to get ready to do here today is we're going to build a recipe. Mystery Bag Brew. Boom! Right there. So, a little bit of a background on what the Mystery Bag Brew is. This is bag number 2. I actually have a list of all of them in the book for Scabs. So those of you that don't know, I'm actually the recording secretary for Scabs, Southern County Amateur Brewers Society. And this is actually my last term. I get to hand it over to capable hands starting next month, as a matter of fact, which is cool. But anyways, what I did was, kind of one of my outgoing things was I put together an idea. So I have all this grain and stuff. I put together mystery bags. This says bag number 2. And I did up, I want to say it was either 10 or 12 bags total. And they all have different grains, different hops. I think it comes up to a total of 2 pounds. Well, when I open this up, you'll see. And the idea with this is you're supposed to use these ingredients to brew a beer. Now, it's not an overwhelming amount of ingredients. But it is, these specific ingredients need to be in the beer somewhere. So you've got grains, you've got hops, and you've got yeast. It's in this bag. So some of the folks in Scabs have already done their brew. I know Josh is doing his today. This is New Year's Eve, the last day of 2021. And I didn't realize it, but I typically brew on this day. So, tradition. I like to get a brew in on the last day of the year, and then typically I brew on the first day of the year as well. So, without further ado, let's open this up. Now, we're going to be getting together in February to taste these beers. We're going to come up with a scoring. There we go. There's the bag. Set you down here. And the idea of the scoring is you want to score the beers on their own, on how they taste as they're brewed. And we'll score them using the SJPC scoring guide. What we're going to do is how much of the bag we use, percentage-wise, that will be added on to the score. So if you go in and you score a beer, on its own, and it's a 30, right? But you've only used 50% of these ingredients, that we have in front of us. Well, you take 50% of that score 30, which is 15, and you add it to 30, and you got 45, and your total score is 45. So obviously, the idea here is to use as much of these as possible. That way, your score will be as high as possible. And I pretty much expect everybody to use everything, so it should be adding 100%. So if my score was 30, and I used 100% of everything here, I add another 30 to that, and I have a score of 60. So it ought to be interesting to see how it goes. So let's see what I had in my bag. I have a half a pound of 6 row. I have a pound of Red X. I have a half a pound of aromatic. I've got an ounce of Antietam, an ounce of Millennium, and I have a Mangrove Jack M27, which is a Belgian ale. So, Suited for brewing all Belgian ales, including quadruples, up to 14% ABV. Wowzers. Did not realize M27 did that. So, you know what? Let's build a quad. Alright, let's get to work. Alright, so we got Beersmith opened up. Let's go ahead and let's add a recipe. Let's give us a name. We're going to call this the Mystery Bag Brew. Brewer is SJ. We are going with an all grain 5 gallon. Okay. All grain 5 gallons. Full time, today's date. We're good there. Let's go down here and throw a style in. Belgian. I'm looking for a quad. If there's not, there's a triple, so let's start with that. Okay. That sets the style guidelines. Let's go ahead and add in the fermentables that we know that were in the brown bag. So 1 pound of Red X. Let's go with Red X. That's 1 pound. Okay. Another fermentable. We had some aromatic. Okay, and that was a ½ pound. So let's change that to half, 0.5. Okay, and we had some from 6 row. Okay, and I believe that was a ½ pound, 0.5. Okay, so we've got our 2 pounds of grains that were in the mystery bag. Let's go ahead and throw in the hops. So it's Antietam. We're just going to put them in as generic right now. We can change them around a little bit once we get into the building of the recipe, and we'll go ahead and add the yeast as well. That was M27. Okay, so M27. There we go. And okay. So we've got in the stuff from the brown bag. Okay, so in my Beersmith, as you can see, we added in the ingredients that were in the mystery bag. Okay, we've got all of that, and I just put in what I got. So the Antietam, Millennium, they're an ounce each. They're both in there, and the yeast and the grains. So now we have to build from there to try and turn this into a Belgian triple or a Belgian quad, actually. I'm kind of surprised that there's not a Belgian quad in here. Unless I did it, nope, in the wrong way. So, all right, so seeing that Belgian quad isn't on the list here, I'm going to mess around here and let's, let's work on the Belgian Dark Strong. Let's throw that guy in there. All right, so let's start building some more of a recipe. I think I'm going to go ahead and double up the Red X. So we're going to throw another pound of Red X in, double that up some, and then got to throw in some Pilsner. Let's grab some German Pilsner. Let's make that, let's make that 8 pounds. Yeah. All right, so we got some Pilsner. We got our Red X. You know what? I bet you
Maris Otter would work wonderful in here. So let's go with that. Oh, let's go with 2 pounds. Okay. Need a little bit of body. So let's throw in some oats. Why not? Some flaked oats. Throw about 1 pound in there. Yep. We'll go with that. Okay. So it wouldn't be a Belgian without some Belgian candy. So let's see if we can find that. Candy sugar right here, dark. I'm going to throw 1 pound in there as well. And we're going to need a little bit more booze in there. So let's go with some turbinado. Turbinado. Go with 1 pound of that as well. Now we're getting some color. She's starting to look like a real deal. Wow, look at that. We've actually hit right where we're supposed to be with the ABV. We're going to leave that there. I think we hit everything we wanted, but we do want to help ourselves out with the mash. So we need to add in some rice hulls. 5-gallon batch. Half a pound will do there. All right, that's cool. So let's go back in now and rework these hops, because we don't want all 2 ounces of hops in the full boil. So Millennial is a big hop. That's a 14.25. It's a bittering hop. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to drop this bad boy back to a half an ounce. Okay. Now it'll be a half ounce in the boil. So we're good there. We're also going to, hops, Millennial. We're going to throw the other half in and flame out. 0. And see what that does. And Tatum. We're not going to have this one in at a full boil. So let's adjust this and let's go halfway. This is a little bit better. It's more of a mild hop. So let's go 30 minutes. Give us some flavor and whatnot there as well. So the Antietam, used for American ales, lagers, aromas distinctive floral and citrus aromas. So that should work out pretty good as a flavoring hop. Millennial, originally developed as part of the Haas breeding program in the U.S. Millennium entered production in 2000s. Very high alpha hops used for bittering. So she's definitely in there for bittering. And we're throwing her in there for some aroma. So that ought to be interesting, right? You don't see people doing that very often. So it looks like we've got our recipe set. I'll be danged. Pretty much got the grist all figured out. So we'll go ahead and measure out some green. Open all these guys up, toss them in there, run through the mill.
go. Voila. It's the old gravity system. Sparge, HLT, actually, not sparge, HLT, mash tun, and boil kettle. Gravity feed, boop, boop, boop. We're going to heat this guy up to about 168, 170 because it's a little bit chilly in here. And then we're going to put that water into the mash tun. And I'll put more water in there for the sparge. And there we go. We're on our way. Belgian dark, strong, mystery bag beer. Last brew 2021. Let's get going. 64. We are at that time. Let's add some grains. Rice hulls. Oats. Stirry, stirry. Grain. Here. Make it good. That right there is why the cube is so good. 152 on the nose for an hour. Extra insulation for the top so that we don't lose heat. And boom. Look at that. Zip. Down. You up. You up. Mash time. So we are at that time. It's time. It's time. It is time. It is time to gather our wort. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Set you over there. Don't really need you. Let's go ahead and set this grain bed. Brought to you by Hams.
she's clearing up quite nicely. There you are, gathering the wort. We're fly asparaging. Turbinado sugar. Dark Belgian Candy sugar. This is where we're going to darken her up. Look at that. And get ready to set up the, oh, yeah, almost forgot. Wharf lock, because we want her to be clean. There we go. We're going to set up the chiller. It's celebratory beer time. So, I didn't get any footage of the chill down and putting into the fermenter and all that jazz. Really no need for that. I'm sure y'all have seen it, although I did use my jaded chiller, the Hydra, and like always, it chilled this bad boy down quick, super quick. As a matter of fact, I started chilling and using that water to clean the mash tun out, and in no time, hell, I was damn near down to temperature before my mash tun was completely clean. So it just knocks it down. That is Hydra by Jaded, best chiller bar none. Best chiller. So the Belgian Dark is in fermenter. We went in at 1086, and I'm probably a little bit heavy on volume.
because I kept pouring in. I just let the mash tun set, and every now and then I'd pour more of the wort into the mash tun while it was boiling, so to try and keep my volume. And it did. I kept my volume. I have plenty. I have no worries at all. 1086 is a good number. The yeast that I put in there was 4 years old, and what I did was, once I got down to where all of my sparge water was now in the mash tun, I grabbed 600 milliliters of that wort, which would have brought it down. I don't know what the OG on that would be, but I can't imagine it was over 1040. You know, when it's just that. So it's basically just the sparge, and cooled it down. Pitched my yeast in there to rehydrate it, and by the time that I threw it in the fermenter, I had a foamy head in the flask, about like that. So she's viable. She's going to kick. I got to keep an eye on it because I have a feeling I may need to put a blow-off tube on it, but I have it set up just in case I do. This is MM's Frankenstein's Pawn, aka Monster's Ball, Kvike, right here. Oh, that's good. That's really good. It's amazing. It's like right up front, there's this hint right at the very beginning of hops, like fresh hops. And then the malts come in and take over, and it finishes off with this almost nutty, grapey finish, and that's from the Kvike. It's amazing that it does that. Well, there you have it, folks. I'm going to try and cobble this all together today, as a matter of fact, and I want to try and get it up before the end of 2021 as a Homebrew Wednesday on New Year's Eve. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. Enjoy the fruits of your labor, folks. Brew beer. Brew wonderful beer.